What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I am LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated. So this is going to be called the LV Lunchtime Takeout. That's what we're going to be calling this. And this is pretty much going to be a recap, of course, last week of the Knicks and how well they played, which I thought was great. He went 2-1. We will break that down. Also, too, we will discuss what the next week looks like going ahead in the schedule that they have going forward. Of course, starting off tonight in Houston, H-Town, as they call it, against the Houston Rockets, 8:30 p.m. tonight on MSG, right? Let's do a quick recap, right, of the Knicks last week that we went 2-1. I thought was a fabulous week. Of course, it was the first game. Of course, they played the 7-0 now Cleveland Cavaliers, right, who are showing that they are legit. I thought this was a game. Rondo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live on this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. That was a game I thought the Knicks had, right? They were up 13. Both teams did not shoot well that night. But, Garland went off in the fourth, and that pretty much propelled the Cavs to beat the Knicks that night. But that wasn't a game that I felt the Knicks just didn't play well. I just thought it was still them trying to figure things out and trying to, figure out roles and things of that nature. Big Task, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live on this LV Lunchtime Takeout. That's gonna be the name of the show, people. And so that's what I thought from that game. It wasn't anything in the game that I was, bothered by. I just thought both teams just didn't have it going offensively, and Garland exploded in the fourth, and that was it. Brunson couldn't shoot the ball in the ocean that night if you asked him to. Coach, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live for this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. So that's what I thought about that game. But you could see that in that game, they were still trying to figure things out. They were still trying to figure out each other, exactly where Brunson and Towns fit in, what Bridges was going to do. It was just a lot of things they were trying to figure out. I thought it all came together in Miami that third quarter. Guys really started getting a clear understanding of their roles. Guys started clicking. And, of course, Towns exploded in Miami for 44 big points, which was huge. And that was his pretty much, coming out party, right? And that's when he got named the Big Cat by LV Live. And so I thought that was a big-time game for him and also, too, the team coming together. And I started to get a really good feel of that. Then, of course, LV Live called it the masterclass in Detroit. Knicks won by 30. Everybody was clicking from the beginning and out the jump. The Knicks were up 39-13 in that first quarter, and I thought that was huge because then you started to see the offense flow. Defense was ferocious, and the Knicks just looked they looked like a top 3, top 5 team in the league that night. Now, of course, everyone's going to say, okay, look, LV, calm down. It was against Detroit. To me, it doesn't matter who it's against. It's still the NBA. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's against, Houston tonight, anybody. It's still the league. We still can't take these teams lightly, and this is what really good teams do to bad teams. You outclass them, and I thought that's what the Knicks did that night in Detroit. So now going forward, right, we have to look at exactly pretty much do a week ahead show to kind of see exactly what does this look like for a schedule going forward, right? I'll touch on that in a minute. But based on last week, the Knicks are pretty much number 3 in the league offensively. Now, LV said last show, I said this looks like a top 3, top 5 offense. And based on the stats and based on all the reports that are out there, the Knicks are technically right now the number 3rd rated offense in the NBA. This is the best they've had probably. I don't want to say going back to the 90s Knicks, but it's probably the best they've had in the last 10 to 15 seasons offensively. Corey Lindsay, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live for LV's Lunchtime Takeout show. So this was great to see last week. Great to see. But then also, too, it doesn't seem forced with this team. Guys are starting to really understand their spots. No one's out there trying to be Brunson. They understand who the ball dominant guy is. No one's out there trying to be Towns. No one's trying to be Bridges. No one's trying to be OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart can be Josh Hart. And what I mean by that is when you're with a team, everyone's got to know their role, period. No one can try to do what the other guy does. And I think in doing that, that's when things start to become cohesive. They don't seem like they're in each other's spaces. It doesn't seem like the floor seems wide open. And through that, now you're able to run your offense. That's where you saw the back cuts. That's where you saw the easy jump shots. That's where you saw the easy, assists. You saw all those things, and it looked like a well-oiled machine. That's because everybody's understanding their role, starting to understand their role, and guys are in the right position to make these plays. And listen, these guys are top-tier players, man. These guys are the cream of the crop as far as players. So Brunson, it's not Brunson. Bridges hitting that corner jump shot, and OG Anunoby hitting that corner jump shot. The 3, the 15-footer, that's what they were brought here to do. So I'm not surprised those guys are knocking it down at a high clip. That's their specialty. And Brunson being Brunson, there's nothing you can really do to stop him offensively. He stops himself. And then Towns being a stretch big, you let him be that, be a stretch big. And then Josh Hart, you let him be the Swiss Army knife. Do everything that he needs to do, whether it's rebound, whether it's get steals, whether it's make really good assists, the hustle plays, all those things. So now, as they used to say when I was a young kid, everything forms like Voltron. Right? And that's the beauty of what I saw last week. To where, based on the numbers, they're the number 3 rated offense in the league right now. But I'm not surprised by that. I'm not shocked. So let's go over here now. Let's take a look at the week ahead. Look at the schedule here. Of course, they have the Houston Rockets. Let's go back here. They have the Houston Rockets coming up. They have it tonight, like I said. Then Wednesday, they're in Atlanta. Then Milwaukee, home Friday. And I believe Sunday, they have the Pacers, right? So it's going to be 4 games this week. Now we're starting to get into the role of the NBA every other day. And to me, I love this. Like, the last couple of games, the Knicks have had 2 days off. Now we got to kind of get in the flow of the season. Now we have to start playing games every other day, so where we can get a lot of cohesion. You can't really do that if you're playing 2 days. Like, I love the fact that they only have 1 day off, whether it's travel or whether it's a rest day, because there's not so much time in between to kind of lose your rhythm. That 1 day off is a good time to heal up, good time to kind of get some shots up, but still keep that flow offensively going. And that's what you want to see with this team. You don't want things to kind of stop. Like you want it to keep going. Based on what we saw in Detroit, that's what we want going forward. Now, of course, everyone keeps on talking about Mitch, and when Mitch is coming back and trying to find out exactly how this lineup's going to work, trying to get Towns to be a 4, everyone's trying to move things around to switch around the lineup. Should Josh Hart start or come off the bench? Why would you change anything? If the offense is rolling, why would you try to change anything? Now, of course, the talk's going to be, LV was just against Detroit. Okay, so what? What does that mean? Yes, they're not one of the best teams in the league, but still they're in the league. And I thought that game against Detroit, the reason why I love it is because it felt like a scrimmage, right? And I love scrimmages because that gives me a chance as a player to work on things that I've been working on over the summer to see if it works. Learn my spots, learn my angles, and that's what you got to do against legit competition. So those things can carry over to the next game, like tonight, like Wednesday against the Hawks, like Friday against the Bucks, then ending it off the week in Indiana. And so I think that those are the things that you have to do to really get a good understanding of what is it that we have, what are the strengths that we have, what are the weaknesses that we have. And sometimes you have to figure that out against teams like Detroit. That's why it's important to play teams like that. And I thought it was great to see. I knew Towns was going to come around. I'm not worried about that. But it's because of the position he plays, and he's, there's no big, at the 5 that skill-wise can really match up with Towns. You have maybe a handful of them, a couple of those guys, but outside of that, there's nobody. who I was really excited to see was Brunson really start cooking, right? Because he's the one. He's the star of the team. The Knicks have made a decision to build around him. So to see him explode the other night for 36 points and look like Brunson is good to see. Because once he starts rolling, and now teams have to really worry about him, which they already have the scouting report on, and they know they do have to worry about him. But when he put those things in motion, now that opens everything up, and that's what we saw in Detroit. Because once he started knocking down shots, now the Knicks are unguardable. And I think also, too, with that makes things so much more easier for Towns. Because with the back cuts, Brunson cutting to the basket. Of course, Josh Hart is great at back cuts. All those things open up that top of the key. So you saw there was one play, right? Because they're so worried about the back cuts, they forgot about Towns trailing. They hit Towns trailing. He stepped right into a three. Bang. That's unguardable, man. That's unguardable. You can't stop that. If you see a 7-foot guy, you're not prepared for him to take a step back and shoot that three. You're worried about him trying to get down here and maybe get to the basket. So as soon as you get down court, after you done hustled to try to stop the back cuts because they done destroyed you the last couple of times down the court with back cuts, now you're totally unsure where the ball is. Then Town walks right into a three. Now we're going right back down the other end. The pressure doesn't end. It's constant pressure on the defense offensively. And that's what you love to see. And that, to me, that's what I learned from Detroit. The reason why I was so big in Miami was just because of the matchups, right? Towns against Bam. And so you wanted to see exactly, who Towns is. Like, how is he going to play it? But I thought after what happened in Cleveland, I thought they were going to really kind of push the issue to try to get Towns involved. And boy, did that. Because like I said on my show, man, he dominated, man. Dominated Bam. And to me, that's what solidified what I thought. And like I've always said, Towns needs to play the 5. He does not need to play the 4. He doesn't. No, he needs to play the 5. Mitch come in. When Mitch comes back, have him come with that second unit and keep Towns at the 5. You do that, we'll be good to go. Another person who I think is an unsung hero in this is OG Anunoby. Of course, he had a big night the other night in Detroit. You see his numbers there: 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 for 15 from the field. I believe he had 2 steals. But defensively, he's just so hard to deal with. And so many aspects. People complaining, people upset. LV, man, they paid him too much. They paid too much for OG Anunoby. Not at all. Not at all. Here's Tibbs right here. Tibbs is breaking it down exactly how he feels about OG Anunoby and what his
thought his activity was phenomenal for us. He's so disruptive, and then getting out and making plays off of transition, getting those easy baskets, I think gets everyone into rhythm. To me, it's great for our team. And I think his teammates, his coaches, the organization, we know how valuable he is to us. He's really invaluable.
So that's Tibbs breaking down his perception on OG Anunoby. And that's the beauty of what it is that he does, because like I told you guys, and I told you guys before, this is why he's so expensive. Just because of what Tibbs just said. Everybody wanted this guy. Everybody, because of those little things, those intangibles. You see him in the game. You see him in the game. You see how much havoc he causes. And I have to use the words havoc because that's what it is when you're going against the guy. And teams are trying to scheme for him. You're trying to worry about Brunson. You're trying to worry about Bridges. You're trying to keep Josh Hart off the glass. And then, you say, I forgot about OG Anunoby. And that's what makes him he's so valuable to what it is that we want to do. And he's a perfect player to what Tibbs loves. So Tibbs has got 3 players in his stable right now who are Tibbs guys. Bridges can play 48 minutes if you want him to. And he can play the next day 48 minutes. So Tibbs loves that. You could put him anywhere defensively. From 1 to 3, Bridges can guard, and 4 at times. Josh Hart is a Swiss Army knife, very similar to Bridges. He can play 48 minutes if you need him to. But he does all the intangible things. That's why if you notice, those two guys never come out the game. It's never a time in the game where both of those guys are out. Maybe at the end of the game, but outside of that, that's not the case. And then you got OG Anunoby that can guard 1 from 5. He can guard all 5 positions and be extremely effective with all 5 positions. That is very, very hard to find in this league. Very, very hard. It's not so much how much you can score, right? A lot of people think about that. Like, oh he's got to be able to score like 30, 25, 30, Not everybody's KD. But not everybody can do what OG Anunoby does. What you bring to your team to help for winning basketball makes you extremely, extremely expensive. And so trust and believe, a lot of contenders, I'm not speaking of Detroit, I'm not speaking of Charlotte or Portland, none of them teams that aren't even close. I'm speaking of teams that are contenders. Oh, yeah, they would have paid the same price for OG Anunoby that the Knicks did. Now, of course, right, we have the curveball here, which is his injury, right? His injury history, and this even goes back to college, too. He's struggled with injuries his whole career. That's the other aspect. Keeping him healthy, right? But when he is healthy, the numbers that you see right here on the screen, this is what he does. And anywhere between 17 to 21, I'll say 15 to 21 points, that's really where he's at. But that number underneath, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. You see those numbers, 8 for 15 from the field. Look at that. Those are numbers that are winning basketball. Winning basketball. Josh Hart, 13 points, 10 rebounds, like things like that. That's winning basketball. Those things contribute to winning plays. There was a play last game against Detroit that I think people probably forgot about. But Detroit got a turnover, and they were on their way on a fast break, and it might have been like a 4-on-2 or 4-on-1. OG Anunoby got the steal in the corner and kicked it up to Josh Hart, I'm unsure who it was, but he kicked it up to them for the dunk. But he stole the ball on the wing because defensively he's in the right position. He just has those intangibles that you just can't coach. And those are the things that it's undeniable. It just is. And I think in doing that, you have to, respect what he does, man. You have to, and realize how important he is to going forward to what it is that the Knicks like to do. Also, too, man, Shams reported today that the Knicks have signed Akaporte to a 2-year contract. So it seems like this is all a setup to try to get Matt Ryan and those guys onto the team, trying to free up some money. Brock Aller being busy, so he's working some things behind the scenes to try to shore up this roster. So I think that this was something that we saw coming with the Knicks and Akaporte. I think he's shown a lot of promise. Once again, I've stated on this show before, Sims better watch out. Sims better watch out because this kid has got a lot of upside. So you see that there, the Knicks have locked him in to a 2-year deal per Shams. So you have to be happy, man. You have to be happy and you have to be extremely excited about what we look like and what we are. So the question I have for you guys, where do we go this week? Jeremy Newsman, man. Jeremy Newsbaum. I can't pronounce your last name. I apologize, Jeremy. I can't pronounce it. Jeremy, I appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live on this LV lunchtime takeout special. Appreciate you coming through. So what do you say, guys? Based on the schedule right here, what do you say your schedule is going to be? I think tonight is a win. Tough win because I think the Rockets are young and active, but I think if the Knicks come and handle business, I think we'll be good to go. Atlanta Hawks. I think that's a win. Got to see if DeJounte Murray's playing. Oh, he's not even with them anymore. Look at that. See, he's with the Pelicans. So I think that could be an easy win. Another place that's considered MSG South. Right? But I think the Bucks are going to be tough at home. It's all about matchups. And then we got the Pacers, who are reeling with injuries. So we got to see what that is. It's still going to be tough. The Pacers are still the Pacers. We got to respect them. They can still score, but they're dealing with a lot injury-wise. Big Taz says he thinks we go 4-0 this week. 4-0 for the Knicks. I think it'll be good. I think 4-0 is something to look at. We got to be careful though, because there could be a loss in there. Jeremy says 4-0 also. Big Taz says the Knicks will destroy the Bucks. Book. Bucks. I never sleep on the Bucks. I don't. It's just the Bucks are old, man. That's the issue that they're having. They're an old team, and Doc is asking them to do things that they don't have the skill set to do. And so that's what I'm noticing about the Bucks. Just Knicks, man. What's going on? I appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live on this LV lunchtime takeout show. Appreciate you coming through, rocking with me. Air Caporte. Yeah. He just signed a 2-year deal. I just showed that up there. Just Knicks. He signed a 2-year deal today, which per Shams with the Knicks. The Knicks locked him in going forward. So, but tonight, what do you guys think about tonight? How do we look tonight as far as the matchups go? What do you do? Namit, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live on this LV lunchtime takeout. I think the matchups are going to be pretty good. Jalen Green is tough. I think he's an explosive athlete. But who are they going to have for Towns? Sengun? Sengun going to give Towns problems? I don't think so. He's not as big as Towns. What Towns is, if you notice the last couple of games, what Towns has been able to do, he's bigger than most guys. He's bigger than most guys. And so he's been able to kind of get away with that the last couple of games. I've been noticing that. Big Taz says this will be a tough game because the Rockets are feeling confident. Okay. Jeremy says Knicks 118, Rockets 115. Hey, listen, I think anytime you're on the road, it's always tough. It's always tough. But if the Knicks come in prepared and ready to go, I think they'll take care of business. Slim Boggs, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live tonight. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, today, Slim Boggs, or this LV Lunchtime Show. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, man. But I appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live and my crew on this lunchtime takeout show. Some boss says, will Kolek get some minutes tonight? Get some minutes soon, excuse me. I don't know. I think they're saying Payne is kind of questionable tonight, so we'll see. Tibbs is tough, man. Tibbs is tough. You know how Tibbs is. He's tough with these minutes. He's really tough. You got to earn it. So we gotta basically see what's going on with that, right? Is he ready yet? But maybe I'll put it to you like this. Maybe with Payne being down tonight, if he is down for the night, and we're not going against a legit team, right? Kind of on a team on the rise. The Rockets are a young team. Maybe he ought to see exactly what Kolek looks like with that second unit. And maybe this is an opportunity for him to get some minutes to see if he's good at orchestrating the offense. with that second unit. Maybe Tibbs gives him a shot tonight to see exactly what it looks like. Jeremy says, LV, man, what's the deal with Kevin McCullough Jr.? I think they're trying to figure out things. He's going to be kind of like really like a G League guy, man. I don't, he's not getting minutes over, Dottier and, of course, Jacob Toppin. He's not going to get minutes over those guys. So I think he's really going to be pretty much a G League guy. Tibbs is pretty much, solidifying who's going to be on the bench. Right, so he's pretty. You see who's going to be on the bench. You see who's going to kind of like lose their spot. This is a weird place because I think they said Precious isn't close yet, but he's working on some things, but he's not ready to play yet. So I think they're still trying to figure out exactly this Akaporte Sims thing. I think they're mixing and matching, but he's trying to give Sims an opportunity, right? Because that's a roster spot. So is he going to keep Akaporte, or is he going to send him down to the G League? He's going to keep Sims up there because remember, Precious is coming back, and Sims is coming back. And Mitch is coming back. So that's roster spots on the bench. So I can see a couple of guys getting knocked down to the G League. So I could see that happening. But he's definitely going to be in that crew of guys who are going to be in the G League. Big Sass says we have to run the offense through the big cat. I'm sure that the Rockets will lock down Brunson. I don't think anybody can lock down Brunson, man. If they're going to double him, okay. Or try to lock him down. I see what you wrote, Big Sass. Right. I'll put it to you like this. Based on what they see tonight, because you got to see how they're going to come out. And you got to see exactly how. I think Towns dominates Sengun, man. Sengun's not big enough. How big is Sengun? He's about 6'9", 6'10". I don't think he's 7 feet. So that's going to be the key. But they're an athletic team, and they're young men. You just got to, they want to get out and run. So it's going to be a feisty team. I think they're going to really come ready to go because it is the Knicks. So the Knicks just got to be ready. Listen, take care of business the same way you did Detroit. That's it. And that's why I like also, too, like having one day off. Like, I like that because you got to keep your rhythm going, man. Having 2 days off is too long. You got to keep your rhythm going because it's like you lose your rhythm a bit. And I want them to be ready because remember, after the game, because they played Friday night. So Saturday they went to the Michigan football game in Ann Arbor. They were up there chilling, I guess, before they made their way to Houston. So this is a lot of time. They're doing a lot of chilling and relaxing. So you want them to come in tonight ready to go. Slim Bog says, seems like it takes an injury in order to break the rotation. Yeah, with Tibbs. He's got to trust you, man. You got to build trust with him. And you don't get the trust in the games. No. It's the practice. Are you coming to practice early? Are you leaving practice late? Are you getting up shots? Are you getting after it defensively? Are you getting steals? Are you getting rebounds? Are you making the right decisions with the ball out there? You got to earn it in practice. Tibbs is very old school. Very old school. It's like the old saying, right? Practice makes perfect, right? Those guys really believe in that stuff, man. That's how I was raised growing up playing ball. So you earn your minutes in practice. You don't earn your minutes in the game. And so they want to see, can we trust you to go out there and make the right play? Or when you get out there, you're going to start making turnovers and not running the offense that we tell you to run, and you want to jack up shots, right? So all those things Tibbs has got to know. That's just how Tibbs is. So that's why, if you notice, they make sure what they've done these last couple of trades and acquisitions they've made sure they got Tibbs type of guys. and guys that are ready to go. AP, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV live today on this LV lunchtime takeout show. Appreciate you coming through, rocking with me and my crew today. Jeremy says Milwaukee will move Giannis before the trade deadline. I believe Milwaukee will tank this season to retain their 2025 first-round pick, top 4 protected. Wow, you think they're going to tank, man? I don't see that happen. I don't see that. I don't see them tanking, man. There's just too many vets on that team to tank. Those guys aren't going to want to pack it in like that. From Dame Lillard to Giannis to Middleton to, of course, Brook Lopez and Portis, right? There's too many vets over there for those guys to sit back and say, all right, we're going to pack it in. That's it. Season's over. It's too early for that. I don't see that. I just don't. Now, I'm not saying you're not accurate in what you're saying, but I think that it's going to take a lot more for those guys to just say, all right, you know what, we're gonna blow it up and just get rid of everybody. Dame just got there, man. They gave up a lot to get him. And a lot being Jrue Holiday. Look what he's doing over there in Boston. So that shows you right there, man. It ain't all about offense. This game is so much more important than that. It's all about fit. And I think that's the key with any team. Big Chad says, I don't see them moving Giannis, man. He's the franchise. If they move him, they're gonna have to give up a lot, man. Or they're gonna want a lot back in return, shall I say. They're gonna want a lot back in return. A lot back. He's a top 3, top 5 player in the league, man. There's no way you get a guy like that for cheap. There's no way. Also, too, right? Really, really quick. I just want to break this down really fast. Like this whole talk, like I've been seeing about like the Knicks trying to make a move, and of course, the reports are out there about if they could have got Giannis, they were crazy for not making that move. And listen, I did a video that I thought that the Knicks 100 GM, man. I appreciate you coming through rocking with LV live on this LV lunchtime takeout show. Hope all is well with you, sir. And that the Knicks were like, they should have made that try to get Giannis, because no one saw this happening with the Bucks where they were so bad that they're going to try to move Giannis. No one saw that coming. And then the other dynamic is this too, guys. I did a video earlier about seeing the potential of the Knicks getting Giannis and how I thought if you want to give up Randall and a whole bunch of pieces, that's the guy you need to go get, right? I preferred that over Towns. But as you sit back and you reevaluate things, right? Because, we say things sometimes and we have to sit back and reevaluate what we said and what the reports are. Then you got to break it down. Do you not understand what Milwaukee would have wanted for Giannis? Would the Knicks have been able or wanted to give up? It took Randall and DiVincenzo for Cat, right? Now, Cat's legit. He's no Giannis. I think he's a better fit here than Giannis, but he's not Giannis. What do you think the Bucks would have wanted for Giannis? If they wanted Cat, how many picks we gave? We gave 2 picks? 2 picks in DiVincenzo, right? Everyone loved DiVincenzo. People were going bananas when they found out DiVincenzo was in the deal. What do you guys in the chat, what do you guys think they would have wanted for Giannis from the Knicks? What do you think they would have asked for? Listen, they would have wanted Brunson. They would have wanted Josh Hart. They would have wanted Bridges and picks for Giannis. You think they would have wanted a haul for him? So I just think like everyone needs to like just chill out with the whole. The Knicks should have went out and got Giannis, and they should have did this, and they shouldn't have made that move with Cat. That was done too soon, too fast. How? Why? Who else were you going to get? Who else is out there? Everyone's mad about the Cat move. Well, people are saying the Knicks should have waited. Waited for who? Waited for who? Who was out there? Anthony Davis? He's not. People, he's not going anywhere. LeBron's not going to allow them to get rid of him. Who else? Wembanyama? Who else? Joker? Who else? Who else were the Knicks going to get? That the team wouldn't have wanted the whole Knicks team for. You would have had to give up everything for Giannis. Everything. This is a great deal to get Cat. And also, too, Giannis isn't a step out big like for Cat. So he would have clogged up the lane for Brunson. Because he wants to go to the rack. You know what Giannis wants to do. Not saying he's not legit. We know how good he is on both ends of the floor, right? We know. But he would have clogged up the lane for Brunson. Cat is a perfect fit to what it is that we want to do. Sometimes it ain't about the player. It's about the fit. Does it work? And you're seeing that right now in Milwaukee because honestly, it seems like Jrue Holiday was a better fit than Dame Dollar is for that team. So this whole Giannis talk, and we should have held out for Giannis. We should have held out. I think the Knicks gave up too much. I think we listen, man. So who were we going to get, man? They would have wanted everybody and all the picks. So the Knicks would have had no team, Giannis, Devin Booker, and a bunch of backups out there playing. And everyone said, oh, okay, we're happy. We got 2 stars now. So before we quick to kind of jump on this whole star bandwagon, look at AP. The rumors already started with this Milwaukee Cat. Yeah, come on, man. That's what I mean. There's no way you do that deal, man. No way you do that deal. No way. Because trust and believe. Trust and believe. If you think Milwaukee would have asked for the same thing that Minnesota asked for Cat, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're getting a top 3 player in the league, an MVP, a game changer. And you think you're giving up Randall and DiVincenzo and a couple of picks for him? They're going to want everybody. They're going to want everybody for him. I think what we have is perfect. And everyone says, "Oh, I'm just hearing so many things. I'm seeing things out there. LV listens to a lot of stuff, man. I listen to everybody. And I'm just seeing all these things out there that they felt the Knicks gave up too much. And then people are like so stuck on, we just love that old Knicks team. They were so gritty. They were so this. They hit a ceiling, man. They hit a ceiling. Randall was not going to give us over the hump. He was not. Oh, I just wanted to see how this team looked. I just wanted to see, everyone's crying. And then everyone's just losing their mind about DiVincenzo. I'm like, listen, guys, look, man, you got to pay to play, man. Jay Supreme, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live on this LV Lunchtime Takeout Show. Hope all is well with you, sir. You got to pay to play. And I didn't want to see Devo go. I didn't. And LV, I had to correct things. Listen, LV's honest. I didn't want Cat here. I did it. thought if you could make any move, go get Giannis. I said, yo, if anybody, just go do that deal. But LV said it. When I had to sit back and reflect, we all can do that in life, people. You can change your mind. This misconception that you got to be stuck in what you said. No, you can change your mind. Reevaluate. And the reality is that when I saw what they were looking at, I said, okay, now I see. And everything is based on Brunson. They're building around him. They said, this is the guy. We found our star. That's it. We're building around Brunson. And we need somebody that's going to open up that lane for him. Seeing what Cat does, I said, okay. So everyone needs to chill, man, with this whole this Giannis stuff, man. Just stop. Be happy with what you have. The Knicks haven't even started yet. We ain't even start rolling, and everybody's talking about go get Giannis. If you can get Giannis. These guys sound like they're on WWF, man. I'm like, yo, dude, you got to chill out, man. Cat just got here. Let him rock. He just had 44 points the other night, made Bam look like a shell of himself, and everyone's talking about Giannis. Knicks 100 GM says Giannis can't shoot, don't hit free throws, and needs the ball just like Randall. Agreed. It's just, and this is not saying Giannis is not who he is. We already know, but it's about the fit, people. It's about the fit, and you got to think about what we're going to have to give up for Giannis. My man Jay Supreme says, we're good as we are. No need for Giannis. Agreed, sir. Agreed and well said. No need for Giannis, man. No need for him. This is not, once again, to say he's not better than Cat. This is not that. It's about fit. We haven't even, the stove is on simmer, man. The pot is simmering right now. Pot's not even boiling over. It's not even hot yet. It's starting to simmer, and everybody wants to make a move. Chill out. Come on, man. Let this simmer a bit. Come on, man. You got to let it bake. They want to take it out the oven too early, man. AP said they already complained about Randall's defense in Minnesota. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, we already know who Randall is, man. Once again, he's no bum, he's no scrub, but he's limited in certain areas, and he's hit his ceiling with us. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know if they re-sign Randall. I think Randall's gone. I think Randall's going to go someplace else. I would not be surprised if you see Randall someplace. Probably back in Texas, man. Maybe with Dallas, maybe with San Antonio. I could see that. And he just ended off his career there. I could see that. So Randall was not happy about the trade. I think Randall was happy about the trade. I don't think, listen, man, I did a video on this, man, a couple of times, and I've spoken about it on my shows. I don't think this was a good fit for Randall, and I think after a while, it started to be a lot. If you listen, there's a reason why they say New York forever, man. There's a reason why they say that. If you're born and raised here, you know what time it is with the city, man. You know what time it is. And so certain things roll off our backs, man. We can move and shake in certain areas. Like we don't feel uneasy. We don't feel uncomfortable. With the grittiness of the city, we don't feel uncomfortable. Some people do. Some people get nervous. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They get shook, as we say out in Queensbridge. If you're from the city, man, you don't get shook. You understand what it is. If you're a cat from uptown like me, you know how to move in Brooklyn. If you're from Strong Island, you know how to move in the Bronx because that ain't home. You know how to move. So you ain't shook, but you know how to move. You know how to be on point. Now, LV's going off here, but what I'm saying is, if you know the city, you know the city. And so for some people, they either like it or they hate it. They either rise to the occasion and stick their chests out, or they fold up. Some people's temperature rises, some people's temperature stays level, man, in the city. Depends on who you are. And I think Randall, as much as he liked it, he struggled a lot. And so I'm not surprised that, if you remember, there was reports out there. I think his wife went on live and said she liked moving to Minnesota because she wanted a bigger space and a bigger house and all this other stuff. I think it's more to it than that. I think it's just the environment, man. She said, like, she's from Kentucky, he's from Texas. You know what I mean? That's a lot, man. Those places are like night and day compared to the city. So you need a certain type of cat who's from these areas, right? And I'm not just speaking of New York, but just certain areas to be able to deal with certain dynamics that come with playing here. So when they boo, you okay with it. You know how to fold, you know how to rise up to the occasion as opposed to fold up. I think he struggled with that. And so I think quietly, he probably was relieved by the trade. Now, DiVincenzo, that's different. I think he wanted to be here with his boys, man. I think it's a lot of different intangibles with DiVincenzo. He just had a baby. He's from Delaware. We've spoken about it on my show. He probably started to get settled into the culture. He is New York. You could see it. When a B did that to Mitch and snatched him down, who was the first guy in his face? You know what I'm saying? So DiVincenzo has got the temperature for the city. You understand what I'm saying? He's got the temperature and he's got the heart and the grit to play in this city. That's why he didn't want to go. How you go from that to Minnesota in the middle of a snowstorm? No one wants to do that. So I think that's the situation there. Knicks 100 GM said, I knew he was a goner once we got Bridges and paid OG. Yeah. Agreed. I knew it was just a matter of time. And then once the cat talk started circulating, I said, oh man, I think they're gonna make a move. I think they're gonna make a move. Pizzazz says Dante was ready to fight the whole Knick bench in the preseason game. Nah, man. He loves those guys, man. They're like family, man. Those dudes, they're like brothers, man. So I didn't take that from that, man. I think he's hurt, man. He's really hurting. And you know what? I will say this, guys. I would not be surprised. I'm not saying it will happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if when that contract is up in Minnesota, he comes back to the Knicks. I would not be surprised by that. And he takes maybe less or whatever just to come back to the Knicks. So he could be with his boys, be with his family right there in Delaware. I would not be surprised. Because what would the Knicks sign him to? Would the Knicks sign him to a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal? Because I think the contract, is he in the first year or the second year of that contract? I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it was a great deal. So that's what I'm saying. So I just wouldn't be surprised if he ends up back with New York. Knicks on the GM. Swinging for the fences. He said that's probably why he started the beef. So they could say it was tampering. That's in the works? Let me find out you heard something, man. You heard something? Who told you something? Somebody said, yo, we working some things out back here, man. Let me. Yo, that would be ill, though. If that was the reason why he did that. It's funny, man. That's funny. That's a good one. That's that's comic relief for the day. So they can't say tampering. I know, right? So let me. My mind is going crazy now. Just because I can see them dudes in the back talking about, yo, listen, I'm gonna swing on you, and then they're like, yo, my man, no swinging. We ain't gonna swing. Nobody ain't gonna swing. What if you connect? Now we got to make it look real, but you don't say it's tampering. Oh man. But see, I said I can see Dante coming back. Me too, man. Me too. That's what I'm saying. I can see him coming back, man. I can see him coming back. He did not want. He was upset, man. He was upset. He was upset. You could tell he was not feeling that. Come on, man. Everybody's here having a party, man. And listen, look at how well he played last year. That whole stuff about him coming off the bench, I heard he was saying that's not true. But I think he didn't want to get moved. To him, I said it on my last show. To him, I could see them probably saying, to him in his heart, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I could see him saying, or maybe arguing with Tibbs, or maybe, and this is not saying, LB's just speculating here. I could see a scenario to where these guys, remember, they all know each other, where they're maybe at someone's house at a barbecue arguing about it. And Dante saying, yo, why you had to trade me? Why you didn't trade Deuce? You understand what I'm saying? I could see something like that happening. Or in his mind, what possibly he could be saying. Now, once again, this is all speculation. I'm not saying, I'm just throwing things out there. To where that's probably my deep inside, he might have felt. He might have felt like, yo, man, trade him. What you trading me for? But once again, I think what Dante's not understanding is the Knicks had to make this move, and the Timberwolves squeezed them and said, yo, you really want him that bad? Yeah, we do. All right. Give us DiVincenzo. They said, oh, man. I heard that the Knicks were kind of hesitant. It took them a couple of days to say, yeah, because they did not want to do it. They did not want to move DiVincenzo. But the clock is ticking, man. Last thing they want is someone to swoop in the night and say, yo, we'll give you all of this for Cat. And now Cat is off the table. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. Big T, I said, that's what I meant, man. Dante wanted to fight because he was upset. Yeah, man, he was upset. He was hurt, man. He was hurt. And you know, that's the cool thing about sports in a sense, because you kind of see, like, these guys are regular people, man. You know, they don't just want to be traded and just be jumping around cities. My man, you got to think, at the end of the day, you know who said it best? This could probably be easy for you. Josh Hart said it best. He said, man, like, for the first time, like, in my career, like, I can settle down someplace. You know what I mean? Raise my family. He just had 2 babies, remember, a couple years ago when he came to the Knicks. And he wants to settle down, man. This is it. He's jumped around a lot in this league. How many teams Josh Hart played for? Now he's finally with a team. He's playing with his boys. He's right down the street from Villanova where he went to school. He's right down the street from D.C. where he's from. This is perfect, man. And your team's a contender. He's gonna retire a Knick, man. He's not going anywhere. So I can see where Dante probably felt the same type of vibe. Like, he probably felt the same thing. They probably had talks about this. And so out the blue, you get a phone call like, yeah, you know, pack your bags, you're going to Minnesota. He probably said, what? He probably tried to get Jack's, dudes on the phone on the jack, like, yo, my man, what the fuck is going on? Yo, let me talk to Tibbs. Let me talk to Leon. Yo, my man, why you ain't talk to me about this first? I'm just saying, because that's the type of energy he had. It's a tough business, man. It's a tough business, but these guys, they still are people at the end of the day. And that's what I saw. I saw a guy that was really hurt. I saw a guy that does not want to be in Minnesota, man. He doesn't. And that's why I said I would not be surprised when this contract is up if he just says, I'm going back to New York, man. And I'm going to take whatever. And they're not going to give him no BS deal. You know what I'm saying? Because a couple of guys are going to probably be off the books. A couple of guys that were playing backup or whatever. And they're going to probably pay a premium for him to come over there. And he's going to take that money instead of whatever's over there or whatever else somebody offers to come back to New York. Earl Garris, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live on this lunchtime takeout show, man. So, yeah, man, listen, it's gonna be a great week for the Knicks. I'm seeing everybody in the chat saying 4-0 for the Knicks this week. I could see that. I can also see 3-1. But I think this is where you kind of start getting some stability back, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Knicks right now, what are they, 3-2, right? 3-2. So check it out, guys. If we win these 4, we could be 7-2, man. Solid record right now going forward. And hopefully, down the line, next couple of weeks, we should be getting Precious back. So I think that should be, pretty much a great thing. But, man, we could wind up being maybe 7-2 this week, 6-3 at the end of the week. So, yeah, should be really, really exciting, man. But listen, guys, that's my show. I will be going on live again tonight after the game to discuss the outcome. And make sure you guys come through and check that out. All right. But listen, I appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with me for this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, people. Right. Also, too, if it's your first time coming by, please subscribe to the channel. And also, too, please leave comments because I do respond to comments. All right. But I appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with LV Live, man. All right. Listen, everybody enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you tonight after the Knicks versus the Rockets game. All right. I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here, people. Peace.